Hi fans, welcome to the 2012 Lake Erie College Storm Football Preview Show. Jason Tirotta along with Coach Mark McNellie. And Coach, an exciting season approaching, just a couple of weeks away before kickoff, August 30th at Gannon University. Well, let's talk about the Storm prospects for 2012. For the first time, you went through an off-season where you graduated a 20-plus member senior class. A lot of those core guys who were here from day one, not around now as the off-season rolled around. What was it like building your team without a lot of familiar faces?
Well, it definitely was different. I mean, those guys had been fixtures. They had been here from the get-go, so we had to adjust a little bit. But I think it was good. I think we got a group of hungry guys behind them that've been waiting their line and waiting their turn in line, and are excited to jump in and fill that void.
Let's look at some of those key guys. There are a lot of guys back along that defensive line. A lot of guys, because of injuries in the past, who have played quite a bit of football over the past couple of seasons. And how is that going to affect a lot of the ability to shuffle guys in and out, keep everybody fresh along that defensive front?
Well, I think that's probably the key to what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a lot of guys involved. We're trying to do a better job of playing enthusiastic and running to the football. With Zane Houston and Taylor Lepla and Marty Newman and some of the guys coming back that have played a lot of downs of football for us, and then you mix in some other guys in the younger group, and we think we'll be able to run a lot of quality defensive lineman people and hopefully win that battle up front sometimes. And a very talented, speedy, and athletic group of linebackers. Yeah, we're definitely excited about the group of linebackers we have. Spring ball they played, I thought, extremely well. Tanner Wells, Kyle Hirth, Marcus Rogers, Austin Hoflich, and then we were just fortunate enough the other day to sign a transfer linebacker from the University of Michigan, Isaiah Bell. So I think at the linebacker spot we've got some guys coming back that can really play. And in the secondary, veterans returning. It's an area that we've been a little bit thin in the past, but I think a lot of guys that now can shuffle between that corner and safety spot. Well, pretty much the whole group comes back, and the secret back there is staying healthy. Last year, probably our best safety going into the season was Nick Kranz. Got hurt week 1 and week 2 and never got back the rest of the year. Dylan Lehman spent the year on a bum ankle. Those two guys come back healthy at the safety spot. That makes us better right now. And then, corner, all the guys that played and contributed last year are all back. So all of a sudden the secondary goes hopefully from a place where we needed some help to a place where we got some guys coming back. And recruiting, we also spent an awful lot of time upgrading the secondary. So we hope that we're much better in the back row. The unit that we said was kind of the Storm's bread and butter the past couple of years. The offense, taking it position by position, starting up front, the offensive line. No Mike Hounshaw, no Mike Gritz, no Barrett Fredrickson. It'll have a different look this season. It'll have a different look, but there's still some good football players coming back there. We're at the point now where hopefully there's not a big drop-off when one guy leaves and the next guy steps in. Mike McGilligot was kind of the unsung hero of that group last year. I think he can be every bit as good as those guys walking out the door. There's a number of guys that have played awful hard and worked awful hard to try to get their spot in that starting 5. There's going to be one heck of a competition trying to figure out who those guys end up being. We've got a lot of good young players, and it's going to be up to Coach Boyes to get the chemistry right and find 5 guys that work well together. But we think the bodies are there, the people are there. It's just a matter of getting the right guys out on the field at the same time. At the skill positions, a group that personally I'm very excited to see these guys on the field. Very athletic, a very young group, but they've got some experience between the group out there. Obviously, Brandon James and Dave Romeo were 2 huge parts of the offense, and they've moved on with graduation. But it seems like a case at those spots of reloading, not necessarily rebuilding. Well, I hope it's reloading. I think we got some guys that we have very high hopes for, guys that, again, have waited their turn. Guys in the spring that we waited to see what was going to happen, and then it looked like, same offense, just different numbers out there running around getting it done. So, we've got Tommy Jackson coming back at the wideout spot, who played a lot last year. Unfortunately, we lost Mikey Thomas, hurt his knee a couple of weeks back in a workout, and is probably going to be lost for the year. But some young guys stepped forward. Aaron Lindgren, had a big year last year until he got hurt. There's just a number of guys. I hate to rule anybody out, but there's a number of guys there that can step forward and do the job. And tight end wise, they're somewhat skilled guys, somewhat offensive line guys. We've got 3, 4, 5 guys, quality tight ends we feel that really can give us a different look as far as the personnel groupings that we're able to put on the field.
Coach, the one guy that we seem to talk about year in and year out the past couple of years was number 13, Sean Bedabowski. Obviously, a fantastic career, and I think that will be the first question that a lot of people on the outside are going to ask is, how do you replace Sean Bedabowski? But I think, you've got 2 quarterbacks on the roster who have starting experience here at Lake Erie. I think that's a nice bonus, and you brought in some pretty talented players to compete for the starting quarterback position. So how excited are you about the race and the competition heading into fall practice?
First off, you don't replace Sean Bedabowski. He's the all-time leading passer, rusher, scorer in the school's history. But we have some guys that we think bring some different things to the table. Some guys, again, that have worked very hard and have, I think, stepped in and done a really nice job. Brendan Gallagher, coming out of the spring, would probably be the #1 on paper right now. Very explosive runner. Better than average thrower, probably not quite the arm strength that Sean had, but knows where to go, probably knows the offense better than any quarterback we have had since we've been here. And then we had a very fortunate opportunity this summer come along. We were able to get Patrick Nicely, who was the starting quarterback for 2 years down at the University of Akron, a local guy, transferring back home, big arm, big thrower. How well will he fit into the system? That's what we're going to have to find out.
The third part of things, the special teams, an area that the program, I believe, has steadily progressed year in and year out to build a little bit better consistency in all facets. Last year, a little bit more explosion than in past years in the return game and a solid foundation in the kicking and punting game, and a roster seemingly full of incoming kickers this year. So building some quality depth and talent in the special teams.
Well, I've said that from day one, that the kicking game is definitely 1/3 of the program. Offense, defense, and kicking game all being equal parts. And, we did get better last year. We did make some strides forward. The bottom line is we have better athletes running down, covering kicks, blocking for punts, doing all the unseen, unheard of jobs that no one really pays attention to who's doing them. But, we've got better players taking up those roles. As far as the kicker, the punter, and the snapper, Sammy's back, Sammy Marcotte's back to do the kicking and the field goals and extra points, but there's going to be all of a sudden competition. Like you said, there's 3, 4, 5 other cut kickers coming to camp. So it's going to be exciting. We're going to see how that rolls.
All right, Coach McNellie, best of luck this season.
Appreciate
Thanks for joining us. And as far as you, we'll see you on August the 30th at Erie, PA, when the Storm travels to Gannon University, and then right here September 8th here in Painesville at Jack Ripp Memorial Stadium. Until then, for Coach Mark McNellie, I'm Jason Tirotta. We hope you've enjoyed the 2012 Lake Erie College football preview. Until next time, rage on.